let's be honest, we're simply not prepared for emergencies. The pandemic has shown us how most essential products disappear from the shelves. Plus, if we're lucky to find them, they cost us a fortune. Thus, every time we need to prepare for situations like this. So, in this, we'll talk about 5 foods that will be impossible to find in the coming months. But before moving to the first item in our list, consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell. Stay informed. Now, let's get back to the topic. Number 1. Rice. Rice is an invaluable food in many cultures around the globe. Rice has always been a staple food in the United States, and its popularity continues to grow. In the fiscal year 2021-2022, Americans consumed an impressive amount of 4.8 million metric tons of rice. Interestingly, the consumption volume of rice has remained relatively stable between 2018 and 2022, with only a slight increase in consumption during the 2020-2021 fiscal year. The rice supply worldwide has been severely affected by Russia's aggression towards Ukraine and the unfavorable weather conditions in rice-producing countries such as China and Pakistan. However, the situation is worsened due to the emergence of El Niño, a weather phenomenon that causes an unusual warming of the eastern Pacific Ocean surface, leading to irregular weather conditions in many nations. In July, India declared it would stop exporting all non-basmati white rice to safeguard its resources and stockpile. While some regions have suffered more than others, the most significant impact globally has been the surge in rice prices, reaching their highest in a decade due to the global rice shortage. According to Charles Hart, a commodities analyst at Fitch Solutions, rice prices have softened to about $16 per hundredweight pounds, from a peak of almost $18.50 per hundredweight pounds this year. However, experts predict prices will remain higher than usual until the new year. The situation is terrible in the U.S. as well, when rice farms in the United States found it difficult to maintain profitability due to the discrepancy between global rice prices and increasing input costs. Congress approved additional funding of $250 million. The purpose of this funding was to prevent the farmers from facing financial difficulties, as it would have resulted in a major crisis. Look at this chart. In 2022, the retail price of long grain uncooked white rice stood at 97 cents per pound. In 2008, rice prices rose to record highs from 55 to 81 US cents as global trade restrictions were implemented, causing many large importers to panic buying rice. Number 2, pasta. Well, pasta lovers, prepare for the shortages of your favorite staple in the coming months. Unfortunately, global markets have not been kind to pasta, which will also affect the American market. As per Financial Times, the European pasta manufacturing industry is facing mounting pressure to reduce the prices of household staples such as fusilli, spaghetti, and others. Leading manufacturers including Barilla, De Secco, La Molisana in Italy, and Pazzani in France have been justifying their recent rise in prices, citing the impact of higher manufacturing and other input costs following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. However, the simmering tensions surrounding the price hike have become a cause of concern for the authorities. Did you know that the cost of spaghetti and macaroni in the United States has risen to an average of $1.47 per pound in 2023? This data comes from the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis and shows a significant increase from the average cost of $1.21 per pound during the same time last year. These rising costs can significantly impact consumers' overall cost of living, making it essential to keep an eye on price trends in the food industry. As a reminder, during the pandemic in 2021, one of the first foods that disappeared from the shelves was Barilla's bucatini pasta, a long pasta with a hole in the middle due to supply delays. Number 3, salmon. One cannot stress enough how delicious and healthy salmon is, but recent trends tell us that we may expect shortages. In the beginning of March, regulators on the West Coast made public their intention to propose a prohibition on salmon fishing this year. This would be only the second instance in which the salmon fishing season has been canceled in California. Forthcoming ban is due to the massive reduction in fish populations across the West, caused by a scorching multi-year drought that has drained reservoirs and dehydrated a significant portion of the land, particularly in California. Salmon populations in California and Alaska have taken a steep decline over the past year, with the Chinook and king salmon species being the most affected. This species is one of the healthiest and largest salmon species commonly found in grocery stores and served at restaurants in the United States. The California Department of Fish and Wildlife has forecasted that the number of 3-year-old fall-run Chinook expected to return to the Sacramento River this year to spawn would be fewer than 170,000, one of the lowest estimates in 15 years. Similarly, in Alaska, the situation is similar. This decline in the salmon population is a cause of concern for both the environment and the economy. The current state of affairs for the entire industry is quite bleak. In the previous year, the Bristol Bay sockeye salmon harvest was a staggering 60 million fish, but unfortunately it coincided with the declining consumer markets in Europe and North America that were already reeling from the effects of inflation. As a result, the sales of these fish were severely impacted, although this year's sockeye harvest is smaller, with only 39 million fish counted so far. The market has yet to recover from the previous year's fallout fully. Number 4, flour. Wheat is a crucial crop in the United States, with 3 main varieties being grown: hard red winter, hard red spring, and soft red wheat. Country's wheat production is primarily concentrated in the southern and central states, which has been hit with severe drought conditions over the past year. This has affected states like Colorado, Kansas, Montana, Nebraska, South Dakota, and Texas, where the first 2 varieties are primarily grown. According to the USDA, a staggering 75% of the country's wheat crops are currently being grown in drought conditions. This has resulted in significant losses to American wheat crops, with large portions of them dying. Even the wheat that's been managed to survive the heat is often of low quality or inedible. As a result, the U.S. has witnessed a record low in wheat production this year. When a product is in short supply and demand remains high, prices tend to soar, and this is the case with wheat in the U.S. presently. Thus, average consumers will find themselves in a challenging situation. On the one hand, households should expect flour shortages, meaning fewer quantities of flour on supermarket shelves. On the other, if you find your favorite flour brand, it'll cost significantly more. Over the past 2 years, the prices of flour have been on the rise. Consumer Price Index indicates that the price of flour has risen by 8.5% when compared to the previous year. As per the predictions by analysts, the shortage of flour will continue to affect Americans, and its impact is likely to be felt in the coming months. Number 5, chocolate. The global chocolate industry has seen better days. Those of you who love chocolate should know that their favorite food is on the decline. America loves chocolates, and U.S. consumers eat about 3 billion kilograms of chocolate confectionery annually, so chocolate shortages on the shelves will undoubtedly frustrate many. Did you know that cocoa production, vital for chocolate manufacturing, is facing serious challenges? Due to the adverse weather conditions in key regions caused by the El Niño weather phenomenon, there has been a significant decline in production, leading to a surge in cocoa prices. The ICE cocoa futures reached a record high since 1979. The concentration of chocolate production among a few prominent companies, including Mars, Hershey, and Nestle, has amplified the impact, with elevated costs passed on to consumers, leading to higher chocolate prices. This situation's been particularly evident during festive seasons like Halloween, where spending on chocolate in 2023 saw a notable increase. Driven by the inflation and cocoa scarcity, the continuation of rising chocolate prices due to El Niño, expected to persist through the first half of 2024, poses challenges to the cocoa industry. Recent data showed that cocoa prices have soared to the highest in 44 years, surging to almost $3,800 per metric ton. Moreover, there's a shortage of sugar worldwide this season, affecting baking and confectionery consumer trends. Everstream analyst chief meteorologist John Davis estimates that the global deficit is approximately 5.4 million metric tons, a significant increase from last season's 1 million metric ton deficit. Thank you for watching. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, and feel free to share your thoughts on the coming food shortages in the comments section below.